Hello, true believers. Welcome to my channel, Mr. Miracle Comics. My name is Dave, and today we have 5 more comic books, undervalued comic books, for us to take a look at. All right, so lots of movies coming out, lots of predictions coming on, lots of comic books that have speculation around them based on movie stuff, TV properties. I really wanted to start. We always try and get ahead of the game, right? So today we're going to focus on Doctor Strange, and I've got a few Doctor Strange picks for our show today because Doctor Strange hasn't even started filming yet. I'm not even sure how much of it has been cast. We know, Cumberbatch has been cast and some other stuff, and there's been a few tiny little sort of plot leaks, but I don't think it's a leak. It was more like a press release kind of thing, like Doctor Strange is betrayed by a friend and something else. We got the title and that kind of thing that's going on. Anyway, before any of that kind of stuff starts coming out and there's any kind of confirmations about characters and stuff like that, we want to get those books first, right? Well, there's still dollar bin books before everybody starts picking them up on their radar and doing that. So today we got Doctor Strange picks because they're going to start filming a few months from now, maybe 2-3 months from now. So there's a few books in here that haven't come up on anybody's radar that still have a fair chance, some of them, of showing up in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. So let's take a look at some of those picks now. And one of the ones that I wanted to pick, and we'll go backwards in time for this one, but it is from 1991. It's a Copper Age comic, and it is Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, number 31. And the reason that I'm picking this book is it has a first appearance of a group of guys called the FEARLORDS. And they're like a big council of really bad guys, right? So one of the rumors around Doctor Strange movie is that Nightmare is going to be the main villain. And that's a pretty solid rumor. Nightmare is definitely up there in one of those, reoccurring Doctor Strange villains, arch nemesis kind of guys. So Nightmare is a good pick, pretty smart pick to say that, he's going to be one of the main villains. But I've also heard rumors that there's going to be lots of characters, not just heroes, but a whole bunch of other stuff that's going to happen. And so that led me to this book, thinking about, where would you get a bunch of these characters from? FEARLORDS, right? Like they're a council of all these different magical entities that rule different dimensions. Dormammu is one of them. Nightmare is one of them. And there are several others. So let's take a look at some of the picks. But one of my first picks here is, like I said, Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, number 31, first appearance of the FEARLORDS. Also has the first appearance of one of the FEARLORDS named Dox. DOX. And she's the only female FEARLORD. And she's quite a cool character, and people like it. And I think she has a lot of on-screen potential as a movie character. Right? She controls darkness and shadows, and she can read people's minds, and she's like a demon. She's ancient and all kinds of stuff. Okay, so she's a very good chance of, if they have FEARLORDS, they would definitely want to include a female, right? And these are all magic characters. So I think this is a good pick. I picked this one up for $6. I see them going in the $5 to $10 range, depending how what kind of a deal you can find. This one is absolutely near mint for $6, and yeah, it's an easy find. You can go to your LCS. Nobody's looking for this book. Nobody's really thinking about the FEARLORDS, but we've already seen a couple of those characters show up, and possibly if we have a whole group of characters that they want to bring in, they could be doing something. Nightmare could be using the FEARLORDS to assist him in some way of defeating Doctor Strange. All right, so with that being said, let's do some first appearances of some of these FEARLORDS. Okay, so this book is, you probably come across it lots in dollar bins. I know I have. I've seen it all over the place. Probably passed it by just as many times as I have, but I think I'm going to grab a few copies that I come across. And that is from 1988. And it is Marvel Comics Presents #1. All right, yeah, I recognize that one. So this had stories about Man-Thing, Wolverine, Silver Surfer, Doctor Strange, and one of the Fearlords makes their first appearance in this, and that is, oh, and this guy is a hard one to say, Kakalakali. Anyways, Kkalakki, right? So of course they always try and make these demons have these weird names, and he's kind of like a weird looking worm guy with tentacles and like a horse's face with horns, and he spawned the Eaters of Fear who feed on fear and stuff, and he is one of those evil bad guys who is on the council and a fear lord. So do I think he has a chance? Yeah, he is a really odd looking character like Schumann Garath, which we spec'd on his first appearance couple months ago. But again, they always really go for those big visuals. I mean, they did in the first one, even when he's Doctor Strange is in Endgame and stuff. There's always big visuals that seem to surround his character all the time, using the magic portals and whatnot. So I think they'd want to have creatures that kind of match up to those kind of visuals, right? That can stand up and still, have all this crazy stuff going on, but you're still focused in on this character because he's very visual too. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Kakalakki, the Fear Eater, could show up. And this is still a number one. There's actually a lot of different firsts in here. So Marvel Comics presents number one from 1988, and please, you look to pay anywhere from $1 to $3 for this guy. It is still dollar bin fodder. It was a high print run, right? This will never be a $300 book. It was a high print run, but you still find it all over for $1. So why not grab it? It might have a first appearance of a movie character and turn into a $10 book if it gets hot, right? So like I said, Marvel Comics presents number one from 1988. Look to pay about $1. Don't pay more than $5. All right. Number three on our list, another Fear Lord appearance. I like this appearance. I like just having these comics just because this is a really cool cover too. And flip my key card here. It is from 1978, and it is Marvel Team Up. Number 68, Spider-Man and the Man-Thing. However, there is a character who makes his first appearance in here named Despair. And if I'm thinking of characters that may show up as a Fear Lord or just in general, in the Doctor Strange movie, Despair would be one of them. He's a very cool looking character. He's a ruler of his own dimension, one of the multiverse. He's got powers. He can read your mind. He's immortal. He causes fear, causes madness, uses all these illusions to bring your worst fear, helps and causes madness, right? So he definitely links in there really well with the whole idea behind Doctor Strange, and he's a very good looking visual character without having to be CG. Right? Like you could do a decent costume of a regular actor and be Despair. And so I think that, there could be a very good chance that Despair might show up, right? I mean, if they have Fear Lords, and I'm not saying they will, but it's kind of a few of those pieces make me go, perhaps if I can, Fear Lords will show up. Like I said, we've already seen a few of the characters that are Fear Lords show up, and or rumored to be showing up, and one that has shown up, and there's all kinds of connections to other stuff as well. Anyways, so Despair, right? Another thing that makes me think about Despair, and that is his connection to the New Mutant named Magic. She's like the demon witch hunter, and with the New Mutants movie coming out, and they're always talking about, they're gonna, or Kevin Feige was talking about how he's going to link all these movies together, even X-Men and that New Mutants, and they had some reshoots that were supposed to help link things together into the Marvel universe. I'm really not sure about that New Mutants movie. I mean, I want to see it. The trailer makes it look pretty good, but I'm just not sure how it's going to fit into the MCU. However, Despair does have a very strong connection to Magic, one of the characters in the New Mutants. So there's a connection there as well. I mean, if they somehow link Magic and Doctor Strange, wow, that kind of thing, right? It would make sense. Anyways, I think Despair has a very good chance, if the Fear Lords do show up, of showing up in a Doctor Strange movie. All right, so from 1978, that is Marvel Team Up number 68, Amazing Spider-Man and Man-Thing, and look to pay. Ooh, I paid $5 for this one. It's in really, really nice shape. Right, this is not a sought-after book. You should pay for about that, same price for a very fine plus near mint copy of this book. Don't go nuts and pay a whole bunch of money for it. And yeah, look, maybe if it was like a stellar copy, $10, right? So again, very undervalued in my opinion. If Despair shows up, this book has a much lower print run than Marvel Comics Presents #1 did, and so it could actually see some more value than that. Anyways, Marvel Team Up 68 from 1978. Look to pay around the $5 mark for that boy. All right. So, number 4 on the list, here comes another Fear Lord. Now, this guy's a little different, right? Because he ends up leaving the Fear Lords and helping out Doctor Strange. He ends up becoming a hero. And the character I'm talking about shows up here, and this book is from 1975, Bronze Age, and it is Dead of Night, number 11. Which has the first appearance of Scarecrow, who I think DC kind of frowned on, and they quickly changed his name to Strawman. Okay, but Strawman is not like the Batman villain Scarecrow in any way, right? He is a magic-using creature. He's a defender of this realm. He defends Earth from, I got it written down here, the Kalumai, the cult of Kalumai. And Kalumai is this big demon that wants to come into our dimension, and he would destroy our universe if he did. So Strawman protects that. He lives in a painting. It's kind of a weird kind of deal. He's a very odd kind of character, but at one point he was on the council. He was a Lord of Fear, and realized that I don't want to be a bad guy, and quit the Lords of Fear. Went to Earth, got a hold of Doctor Strange, told Doctor Strange of the Lords of Fear's plan, or the Fear Lord's plan, and ended up turning sides and becoming a buddy of Doctor Strange. So yeah, the Fear Lords, definitely, if there's some sort of thing, he could be connected in that, trying to let Doctor Strange know of these plans. I'm not saying he would be a major character in the movie. He's kind of a little bit off the radar, a little bit too on the nose for the Batman character, I think. But he may show up in that sort of painting sort of way, and give Doctor Strange some sort of a clue about the Fear Lords and what Nightmare is doing, and some sort of connection with Dormammu would be in there as well. So I think that's a pretty good one. Not very many people even know about Strawman, or know that this is his first appearance. I did speculate on this book a while back, way before there was a Doctor Strange 2 announcement. We were just speculating that there would be a Doctor Strange 2 at some point. And, again, back then, this book really hasn't seen much of a jump in price in any way. I paid, I think it was about $15 for this very good copy of it. It is also drawn by Bernie Wrightson, which is one of the only horror comics Bernie Wrightson did for Marvel. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I paid about $15. Like I said, I've had this one for a little while, but I paid about $15 for it. That seems about a reasonable price when I was looking on eBay at what they're selling for. If you want to get like an absolutely near mint copies of Bronze Age books are always seem to be going up quite a bit. You're going to pay around the $40, $50 mark for a near mint copy. And yeah, it was not a high print run. Dead of Night was not a super popular comic book at the time, or at any time really. But yeah, it did have a few key issues in that run. So from 1975 it is Dead of Night, number 11. Look to pay around probably less than $20 for a very good copy and around $50 for a near mint copy. But yeah, first appearance of Strawman. Alright, so the last pick on our list, and we will bring it in. It is from 1974. Alright, and I'm sure you've seen this book. It's actually kind of showed up on the radar and then fallen off the radar again. And not for this reason, but for another reason. And as soon as I turn this book around, you'll realize, and I am saying it is the Mighty Thor number 229. Now this book has gotten a little bit of fame because it has a advertisement in here for Incredible Hulk number 181, an advertisement that features Wolverine. So technically, first published illustration of Wolverine appears in this book and simultaneously in Daredevil number 115. There was an advertisement as well. However, we're more interested in this book for the Fearlord, and it is the Dweller in Darkness, who is makes his first appearance in here, and he becomes the leader of the Fearlords. And he's kind of like, looks like Cthulhu, but he's got a robot body and Cthulhu face, and he's quite a dangerous individual. He again rules his own dimension, his own part of the multiverse. He, comes up with different plans for the Fearlords, and he, he's just a general bad guy that, Doctor Strange fights quite a bit. And yeah, do I think he would make an appearance? He's a pretty oddball looking character, so yeah, I think they would like throw him in there, and again as the leader, and the one below all, and Dweller in Darkness. But yeah, this is his first appearance in Thor number 229, and this book, prices for this book are all over the map, right? Like, because of that Wolverine appearance, people are always like, yeah, it's the first Wolverine appearance. People are asking crazy prices for this book. Some people don't know about it, so they're asking reasonable prices for this book. I was in my local LCS, and a guy pulled this out of the racks, and he only got it for $6. It wasn't like anywhere near a mint copy or anything like that, but there was only a $6 price tag on it, so obviously they hadn't found it. They're still out there, right? I'm not saying you gotta find a $6 copy anymore, but you should be able to get a pretty decent copy of this book. It's fallen back, right? It's cooled off quite a bit. You should be able to find a decent copy of this book for around the $30 mark. Again, that's mostly because of that Wolverine appearance, which I also don't think is too bad of a thing to have. But an advertising appearance isn't exactly a real, true first appearance. But it's just kind of a neat thing to have in your collection if you want to have, if you're a Wolverine collector. But yeah, it might actually show up again because of the Dweller in Darkness, right? Because of his first appearance and the connection with the Fearlords and Doctor Strange and all kinds of stuff that's going to happen through this book, right? They may even, it's got all kinds of value. This book has been undervalued for a long time. Anyway, that's my picks for this week. All Doctor Strange, all Fearlords. Hope you enjoyed this week's video. This book is Thor 229 from 1974. Look for it, and look to pay around the $30 to $40 mark for a half decent copy, and quite a bit more if you're looking for a mint condition copy. However, still a good pick, and I like these Doctor Strange picks. So yeah, we'll be back in a couple weeks with another undervalued video, and yeah, I promise I won't do all Doctor Strange again next time. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next video.